Well, hello people of YouTube and internet, it's I, Chibrp, back with another art project, and man, either I was hallucinating or am I making art project pretty fast right now? Well, okay, so it's another art project and it's another challenge. If you watch my channel long enough, you'll see my awkward stage with very cringe videos, then you will see my art stage with videos very simplified, and now I would say it's this stage. But mostly with my channel, I started with making drawing challenges. Most I was doing drawing your art style challenge, which is I didn't do for a very long time. But I do have a bunch of drawings who deadlines probably did run out, because most whenever people do drawing your art style challenge, they usually do it for special occasions, so there's such thing as deadline and that stuff. Which is I hate, because then I'm working on one project, it's really hard for me to pay attention to other projects. I actually did it before, but super off one stage I didn't know exactly what to do. So today we're doing the monthly challenges. So it's challenge where on every month you have to draw a character, and that's kind of that challenge. So I've been searching for anything interesting and catch up to Maid Dwellers. Oh wait, give me a moment. The Maid Dwellers. That's, I don't know what this number means, I have a kind of trick with. It's Greek number for 4. Would never tell. Although it's have 5 in it. Although it's come before 5, so wonder why. Although 6 have stick here, so yeah, have all meaning why the stick should be there. Okay, it's kind of mean on stock right now. So decided to do this challenge, but because I guess I already kind of meet deadline because it's already June. So yeah, I did kind of miss the challenge, but mostly I hate deadlines, so I will do this challenge with the characters, but I will not post them in chronological order, or not chronological, in monthly order. I literally would never be able to do this. Actually, that's a lie, because I can totally do this if I start preparing, if I take a day to make a character, but most I like first uploading on YouTube, then uploading here. I like highlighting materials, not much, but often I do it a little bit too much, and doing it in one video. So credits go to the AJ Make Art of the Wellscott. He called himself the Salamander King Present. Well, not present, he just Salamander King. And also Maid Dwellers. And hashtag Maid Dwellers. Yeah, I still will use this hashtag. So I think everything I have to explain and explained it. So let's get to the drawing process right now. So the first dweller will be the nature spectrum. Spectrum or spectrum, okay, I don't know exactly what I'll say, I will look at the end. So for him, the main desire will two ideas. First of all, a creature made fully of plants and a creature made fully of animals. Like different parts of animals. Originally I was thinking about giving him the head of the wolf, antlers of the deer, body of the know what who is, and then legs of the elk. But then decided to add a little bit more creatures to the mix, like decided to give him a different eyes, nose of the hedgehog. Well, actually it's pretty hard to tell it's hedgehog, so I would say just a nose with a bit different colors. Ears of the rabbit, head still of the wolf, body still don't know about what creature, hands of the bird, legs of the deer, and also the tail of the bird. Okay, I would say in my idea I have the idea of peacock, something like peacock. But again, I'm not sure they live in the forest, especially the normal forest. Let's define normal forest which we can find in United States or Canada, something like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ireland, I don't know. Never been there actually. Can I compare? So decided to give him still, I would not say it's like a raven tail, I would say it's other creatures who have tails like peacock, but it's way shorter and darker. Now, for details, I would say he's like, in my ideas, was like the weakest of them all. Well, not the weakest, I would say there will be other characters I consider to be weakest. But for him, the idea was pretty simple, and there was not much I would do at him. Now, for these creatures, I did write a little bit of story. Now, the story of Fluff, that's his name, that the fact he was a creature made full of magic. Now, the world, I didn't give it a name yet, I would say it's Evergreen. Evergreen. I think it's the name of character for Adventure Time. Oh, Neverland. I think it's also a name of something. The modern, the fidget land. It's fidget spinner. Okay, fidget. Magic land. Okay, I have no idea. I will come down to idea of later. or maybe in Wonderland, or No One Land, or Unknown Lands. I will, yeah, no, we'll work on that, but then for now it's Nameless, both of these. Now for the creature, sometimes magic exists in this world, but it also exists with technologies. There will be technologies in different kind of forms. Lamps, the guns, the knights. Okay, technology will like randomly be split up. Like they will have full-time computers with internet, but they will only have flip phones. They will have knights, but they will totally could have guns, like knights with sword, and they will be sometimes gunslingers. And I guess I would say it's something like this. And they also have some magic in this world, and sometimes this magic can take different form of living beings. An example of Fluff. He was created by using the forest magic. There is different type of magic, being the forest magic and necromancy, elementals, and that stuff. And being created of the magic, he's had full control of the element of nature magic. So he basically controls the plants and can talk to animals. And plus some small shape shifting. Well, I would say small, he can still transform into different kind of animals, but I would say he's mostly using it not at full percent. Now, being a creature of forest, he not often go to lands and have no concept of lands. And to be fair, he like recently become pretty active with humans. Like usually he was pretty shy and like the Bigfoot of this world. But then after meeting a girl who already sadly deceased, because it takes like a century ago, and when you're a creature of magic, you practically become hard to kill. You don't age, you have a regeneration factor, and like you can basically regenerate from molecules. So that will be something like this. While meeting this girl kinda changed his life, because she gave him his name, she kinda opened herself to environment, and she kinda forced him to change, to become a guy who will not exactly go live in the cities, but a guy who would gladly help humans in the search of soul, to help them and that stuff, because he like know everything about the forest. And while he know everything about the forest, when it comes to new technology, he like super newbie and like even childish. Like would say when it comes to forest stuff, he'll be like freaking know everything he's supposed to know. You show him a rabbit, say his official name in the books. You show him a lightning bolt, he freaking doesn't know what this is, and he can't even build charger. So I would say when it comes to modern technologies, he like super childish. But yeah. Now also, because he was like super pale and less details, I decided to give him a little bit cape and this wooden stick. Now this wooden stick is just for decoration, so he just have a wooden stick which he just for show, I would say. And blanket he stole it from a wooden house where it was dry enough. And because his morality code, I would say he's not a bad guy, but his morality code existence is pretty to himself. Like he will take everything that just laying there. So if you like leave your wallet on the table, he will basically be able to grab it and like look at it or even take it. But whenever you holding it or you tell him not to grab it, he will not do this. So he's mostly like live by a guy who live in the woods and now start living in society. Well, I guess not exactly living in society, but sometimes he go to the cities when he is in need. I would say that. Now, for coloring, I decided to give him colors in the different places where it's a different part of the body. Now, for that stuff also... Man, what can someone to say about him? Oh yeah, the blanket is a blanket of the child which have stars in it. I would say with this character, mostly I have some interesting ideas, but I did kinda drop them and make him pretty minimalistic. And because I say it's too minimalistic, I would add some details like stuff and cape. Actually, stuff was the main idea from the beginning. The cape was something I decided to give him at random. And then also did this effect on his going on his shoulders and that stuff like hanging there. So yeah. But also let's say for ideas I dropped, I also was planning to give him like big antlers. But then decided to drop in this idea because I forgot about them and I didn't want to do it because I was pretty fine with the final version. Now, what say? I think everyone to say about him has said it. Now about the world, he's a like mythical creature. Like people heard about him, they hear that he have magical power. Of course, while ranking his strength, I don't say he's like super strong. I think like maybe city block level. I'm not sure I'm using them right. Like I guess again he can like grow super strong vines to break sun. He can survive anything. In fighter, he is not much of a fight, I would say that. Now for background, decided to create something similar to that stuff, this names list, but in simplified version and maybe a little bit different colors. Now here I will draw his face one more time because I needed the image for my fan facts. Like I started doing lots of those fan facts and that's something I decided to do. Now for fan facts is basically I think everything I want to say I already said it, so there will be something new. Now welcome to this little girl. She died of old age. I mean they were close friends and she kinda changed his life for all eternity. She gave him his name and that stuff. So that's it. I guess I can say about powers. Yeah, basically simple nature powers. Like I would say, man, there are like different levels of powers. Like there sometimes you can be newbie, but sometimes you can get magic of the god level. I would say being made of magic doesn't give him much of benefits. He just can do very not newbie magic. Like he's very good, but I wouldn't say he's a god level. Plus, because he's made of that kind of magic, other form of magic is impossible for him to perform. Like he's freaking limited by biology. Another that green up is the fact that he's what he was made of. Like he was even born as an adult man. Well, let's say by his age. If I have to say, I would say he kinda like a 30-year-old. And he will always be like a 40-year-old. I would say something like this. But personality... Okay, again dependable. Sometimes he like 60 by personality and emotion, sometimes he like 6 by personality and emotions. Now, again would say he is generous and immortal, and not much to say. I think everything I want to say I said it. So for the next character we go, and that will be a human, which one you will see right now. Now for now you will hear the story of the guy, Adomas, the ex-paladin warrior, who was super best at his job, was knowing every blade, was knowing everything. But he always had a weird obsession with blades. And one time, when he retired, he decided to start collecting them. Collecting them by any needs he could get. Of course, because he's a human and we have a known short lifespan, he was very interested in the new method of making you live longer. A potion which can make you live longer. A lame name, I know. But the naming of this potion will tell you a bit later. Now, while he taken this potion, he was able to live for centuries. But the potion had a negative effect on his mind, which already was super obsessive with blades. Now while retired, he started working as a collector. No, not as a collector. He started working as inspection and fixers of sword. While fixing the sword, he would fix the sword, and while researching or checking the sword, he will check the sword to tell how much it will cost or will you fool or not. Of course, often he have a tendency to steal from his customers because sometimes he can see such amazing sword which is belong to such work created by such amazing ways. And mostly people know about that stuff. People who know about this stuff never came to him. And you know what? If you don't sell his sword to you, you must be prepared. Because while it comes to his morality compass, he is freaking lost it completely. Completely okay by killing people to obtain the unique swords. Not even unique swords. I would say he like collecting any type of blades what he can get. And yes, now while looking at him, Adomas, the blade collector, for him I would say I guess one of also faced the same problem that I have faced with other characters. I was thinking that he was pretty way too simple. Now for looking, originally I was thinking about the character a bit more younger and still more crazy about the sword. But I decided to come up with the idea of this very old guy who would freaking have a pale skin, the grey hair. Well, I guess he would have fluffy hair because I really like this fluffy hair. Decided to give him broken tools, the scout his eyes, because as much as this potion short the aging process, it does not help with direct damages. Okay, now if you ask me why if he take a potion which reduce the age process, why the hell he looked so old? Because when he was taking it, try and guess. And plus there was also one that he did not take it because it's kinda expensive potions. So he have to make money. And basically, yeah. Let's say he like literally the best sword guy checking guy or fixing guy. So that's why people come to him. Because they get recommendation. But also some people don't come there because they know what kind of guy he is. Of course there are also some threats to him, but he still have some nice fighting talents. And plus he have tons of mystical blades and that stuff. Belagovsky not often get to use to them, mostly he just use cheap sword to fight with cheap magic. And sometimes it's really necessary he will use his magical mighty swords. Now for his nationality, I would say something. I guess actually, man, I didn't actually think about his nationality. Like, he can give me some Arabic vibe, I would say, but maybe I'm just wrong. And plus, maybe I could use a bit more darker skin to say it was Arabic vibe. But with those jewelries, with his clothing, also give him a feel of on which one he fits. Although maybe it's pretty stereotypical way of looking at stuff. Basically, whenever it's come to characters' nationalities, I was thinking about only with humans and some humans. But I also would say maybe I was thinking that people could see him at least a little bit. I don't know what they could see him. Like, I don't know, I'm not even sure about Arabic vibe. Or maybe I'm not Arabic, maybe I consider my country wrong. Yeah, geography was not my best study materials. And okay, well, I'll not get myself cancelled there. Talking about the sword, I did the sword in the way I never did before. The facing, not in this way, turned way. So you could see this little spike, the holding part, and little jewels. Now, the main idea was always being him checking the sword. Now, my idea would be something like he would be holding it like this, but because I started drawing him in a sitting position, I decided to do him like this. Saying, this is so nice blade. Now, for hands, he will hold it like this, like something like this, but fingers sometimes pointing this way and others when done this way. Although he kind of holding the sharp part of the blade, maybe I didn't think that exactly through. Now, yeah. Also give him a lot of jewelries, but again for jewelries for clothing. Also about thinking of something simple, but then thinking about simple it sucks. So I decided to give him first of all the armor, which is already a little bit torn off a little bit. The shorts behind the armor which go on his belly but not on his arms and that stuff. The jewels, I guess for more effect to add something to the character so he would not look so pale or fragile. And bare feet with pants which will be tied up to his little bit tied up. Apparently I forgot to draw the process of me drawing the object here. Okay, so for object, the fact that he hired assassins to get the people to do his job, expelling, always have a sword, well, chemicals, because for now, when I was making him, I didn't exactly plan of potion that keep you alive for decades, so I was only working on this project, well, on this concept of the universe. Which is actually, I'm still opening a big universe to be fair. Probably will never get nothing more than just this drawing. Okay, maybe with some characters I will keep drawing them a little bit more, because I kinda have one character I kinda simping about. Okay, I still think about this character, but still he doesn't exist yet. I have to make him first, because I did look a bit into the future of what I have to draw. And there's a character who I come up already with the concept that I just have to make him now. Okay, so for this guy, I think everything I want to say it. So for the next one we go right now. Okay, so mostly for every creature here I would have multiple concepts, and for this one I have 3 concepts. Rather will be creature which look human but mutated human, the mimic, which is not a real human. Then first of all, a wall of flesh which take form of different objects. Like there will be swords, chest and that stuff, and basically image of every angle. And then the chest which is I decided to make. So simple mimic chest. My variant of mimic chest. But let's say some concept of the other thing I want to do did come a little bit to that stuff. Now for the eye I decided to do this metallic 12 part, little locks, which is not actually any use because it's just the second mouth of the mimic, which is too small to eat anything. I mean maybe a fly. And it does connect to the digestive system, but with its mimic whole body is almost a digestive system. Mostly, of course, this picklock is basically useless in real chest, and some people even realize that it's stupid picklock, or lock. And because there were people who try to picklock, and this mimic doesn't mind it, like because he liked the way they test. Now for his intelligence, I would say basic simple animal with some good hunting strategy. And we'll say for his name it doesn't have a name. Oh wait, I think I did eat pronunciation in this one. But did I give him some intelligence? Also I see him as wild, almost creature. I think I did some fact about his pronunciation, like, you know, pronunciation, they, he, and that stuff. He will be it, so like, it. Not he, not she, it. It's me. Genderless creature. Okay, maybe simple mind. Or maybe it's the wrong creature I think about. Now, the mimic chest was super simple. Just get a wood, lots of golden part, And the main mouth, which will be the never is open, will be covered in this green slime. And that will be his saliva. But also his keylock also leaking a little bit of saliva in different colors. I would say his saliva can be different color whenever he wanted. Of course he will always produce saliva, so mostly he covered it whenever it will be like super noticeable. Now for wall, it's for basic simple backgrounds. I would say with some characters I did something like not a... Okay, I was thinking about adding some shadows effect for some characters, but I was thinking about... I'm not sure, should I do this or not. And with some characters I did some effect of... perception. And okay, so Mimic will be one of those characters. Now for backgrounds, on the background there will be listed little green moths, but mostly just part of the Mimic, which is he produces slime of shape shifting. So mostly main body is a chest, but he can also produce the slime which can take different forms as well, such as the mice. Now whenever the slime produces a creature, it will be connected to the main Mimic, so he will know what this creature knows. So once he will create a mouse which will go around the dungeon whenever he in, and investigate to know what's coming on that node. Mostly he will change his location or do that stuff. Of course, using such methods of spying is really inconvenient, because mostly of that time whenever slime is too far from the main body and not connected to it, it has a big chance of continuing to turn into a different kind of creature, like separate Mimic. So it's the way they produce, by popping up the new creatures. And for this mouse, decided to make a little bit simple mouse with pupils like creatures from SpongeBob, this little slime trail. I also will add some sword because I want to add a bit more objects. Let's say with Mimic, I don't know, he kinda looks simple, but while I was making him, I didn't exactly have in my head. Like, with previous characters I have the idea, I'm making them too simple, I need that more details. With Mimic, I didn't have this thought, so I was pretty okay with the way he was turning out to be. Now drawing the sword, super painted tip, but I would say mostly my lines and my paints are always unsymmetrical and not perfect. Like, I already accept this my scene, I accept it, I try to fix it sometimes, mostly I don't even try. And it's actually a very bad thing for artists to say. So, am I even a real artist? I'm an embarrassment of our community, as I said so many times before. Now I decided to lean a little bit toward the chest, and not much stuff here. Okay, the keylock fact I said before. I don't even remember this character, because first of all it's not much of the character, it's more of the species. So there's like not much to say about this. Okay, I would say I decided to concept how he will be able to consume stuff, so he will have two stomachs. The main stomach, which is for digestion, it will be the lowest stomach. Now he will keep the acid, which can digest mostly any organic parts. And the second stomach, which will be on top, which is you will see whenever you open the chest, the Mimic, which is full of gold and other stuff he couldn't digest. So yeah, so that will be the bait. They will create some object of his mouse to lure the victim, and then whenever he is the victim, he will keep some precious materials, because again metals and that stuff is impossible to digest. So basically rings, earrings, money, coins, gold, that stuff, he will keep on the top, and mostly keep there for all eternity before for someone to open it. Again, Mimic is mostly main form as a chest, but again sometimes he like experiment. And again, saying the wall is not the part of the Mimic, he like it's in a giant dungeon. Like choose the dungeon for its main location, because there usually chest in there for some unknown reason. And yeah, I did eat pronunciation in this one, so maybe this Mimic have some form of simple thinking. Well, very simple, like, I don't know still. I wonder why this stack. Most I think I did this stack because I do want to play with pronunciation and create characters with different pronunciation. And I think it pronunciation is pretty... never seen before. Because it doesn't even go by it. I think it's pretty rude with you know, some people. We all weird sometimes. Okay, so for next drawing we go right now. So the next character is Clementine Potts. For the name, originally I was planning to make her a little bit more Asian nationality. But Clementine, I'm not sure what nationality name it that. And Pot, I definitely don't know what that stuff is. But I would say maybe she does have some Chinese roots. Now for Master Wheat Puller, that's what she is. Not much ideas. Decided to make a simple wood puller, but decided what to make her strong gas. So here's her story. should come from the family of wheat pullers. It sounds simple, but that's actually very important drone. It can be rated from simple pulling some flowers, parasite who just kill the flowers, from saving the bloody world from the brain eaters, which I will tell about later. Now they a whole generation, and a family, a father, even her brother is a master wheat puller. She also have some grandson and sons. Actually, I don't exactly remember what I did give her, because I did give her a different number. Actually, I give her one I have to look closer, because sometimes I give information which I then quickly, easily forget. But she does have something like this. Then, mostly, they also show some interest in wheat pulling, but I guess it's a bit more weaker. But I would not say this profession of this family is dying. Now, in this world, it's pretty dangerous, first of all, because again, very dangerous plants, like we already have mimics. Imagine what kind of plants we have. Now for her, give her very short hair, this effect on the arm which I saw in some cartoons but always want to use but don't use often, the gloves, and decide to do this palm which is palm on this side. It is super simple to me, but I'm not sure how good it is. Now for leg positioning I was struggling a lot, because main idea was to do legs which is usually laying on his knees and leg go backwards. But I have the foggiest idea how to make it look nice, and it looks super weird. Then to my mind there's come a new idea of drawing her sitting on like a goose. I think it's called like the goose sitting. Like whenever she's still on her feet, but the knees it's super up. Because it's look very much better, but of course because I originally was planning to for this I would have to fully redraw the arms. So at this moment whenever I would draw something I would bloody like it very much, to be fair. So this my best work will start from here. Actually, okay, then my best work I would say will be the next character from her. Now here I will draw her sitting on your knees, and also will do something what I did with Omni-Man drawing. It will be one of my thumbnail drawing. Now I did the Omni-Man meme. I will do basically what I did wrong from there. Legs going on the body, lines not separating the body, are going together with the body. Okay, it sounds probably stupid, but I'm the guy who never go to art school, and if I rate my art skill, I would say I'm just a guy who simply draw it. And expect me to explain something to you. You seriously think I can explain stuff? I don't even know the name of all these tools. Well, I know the lasso, I know the squarish lasso, I know the bucket, and I don't know the spin. What is boring color tool name? I just come up with their own name for them. So that's how I roll. Now for body, and I guess not much stuff I want to do here. I would say her personality, she's now kind, sweet woman, so I think her personality is explained by her body and her profession. Now originally I was thinking that she would plant something in the ground, but because the way I did the knees, the arms would be super long if they were going to touch the ground. So decided to she will just look at the very dangerous plant you will see in my future project. I don't know how much future. Okay, maybe I'm kind of shadowing here, but I have some future plan for these plants. Okay, so for body position, decided to draw hands on the knees. That will be not the first time I decide to draw them, but it's the one of those way I like. Now I did forget to record me drawing the hands, so you saw in the undo image history. But doing something like this. Now drawing here this thing when you're gardening. There is a pocket, and inside the pocket there will be some gardening tool, some chemicals, some seeds, some powders, and also some magical artifacts. Because in this world magic exists, and they use a bunch of magic artifacts to fight some of this wheat which is super dangerous. I guess for this wheat it's actually pretty not dangerous, you just have to be careful to not get infected with this wheat. Not this kind of wheat, you filthy-minded freaks. Is that a good word, freaks? Yeah, I heard some people say it. You freaks. Change your mind. Be better. But yeah. Grass. Better? I will say grass. Parasitic grass. But don't worry, she knows what she's doing. I mean, she's been doing this for freaking decades. Now, for skin, picking color of skin. I guess give you a bit more darkish color. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I guess she could still have a bit of Asian roots, but okay, they might be already be a little bit weakish. But maybe it's gonna work for Asian skin color. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Or Chinese. Oh, Chinese, Asian. Yeah, different, but it's similar. Okay, I might cancel Sensei Stinger. I think for no reason, but yeah, let's better be safe than that. I mean, I'm still gonna keep it because there was a moment then I cut it because I said something I considered not appropriate. But this moment I can keep because I don't think it's that bad. Now, for that stuff, I decided to do some hair, and also one of those extra details I did with this plant, it's Brain Eater. It's a very dangerous plant who have ability to control human mind and turn them into Brain Eater zombie. It just will be a nice concept in the future. So I decided to draw these roots, which will go inside of this dirt, and they will freaking grow. Like, there will be some roots you see, and some roots will just poke up from this dirt. Also, color is super brighttish red, and also it's kind of a little bit moving there, like it's a moving type of plants. Decided to do this reddish, color on color, and don't worry, Potts is totally safe. Well, it's her last name, Clementine. Clem is totally safe because she knows what she's doing. Now we all see her young self, because for that stuff I decided to draw her young self. Because for the fact that she is from the family of wheat pullers. I will also draw her brother and her. Her brother is asexual, and for now also a wheat puller, and for now older than her, because it's her older brother. And Clementine is already pretty oldish, so that's why she's like, her brother is old. But still working, but I would say he is like less into his soul, less into this working stuff. Now she's missing her tooth, but don't worry, it's her baby teeth. Because she's was like very active kid as a child. Now for brother, I would say he's like super simple, because I was planning to draw some super rebel teenager. But I decided, well yeah, I did try to do something close to that, I think I was second at this. Also originally I was thinking about drawing the father, like a typical poster of this old man and his wife, like the guy from this thing. But then decided to no, because too much work, well not too much, but I didn't want to draw characters all the time. So I decided to go with simple 2 characters. Her brother is still alive, and don't worry about him, he is totally fine. Now for the name, I don't come up with his name. Sorry for that, I didn't do this. Okay, so actually for Clementine, the reason why I named her Clementine, because I was going around the names of the meaning. The meaning being the blooming and that stuff. Didn't find nothing. Then just find the Clementine, and I think it has some meaning, and decided to use the Clementine. Originally I was going to do Chinese, but didn't find any nice word to use for her name. And for Pot, well, because Pot. I originally was thinking about Pot, but I think there's not such text as just Pot, so there's like Pots. I think it's a real last name. I mean, it exists in MCU, Pepper Potts. So yeah, I did kind of borrow it from there. But she like the name Pot, like I think it's perfect for Clementine Potts, the wheat master wheat puller. I just said it multiple times. Also, if you noticed on her ear, she does have these little earrings. I didn't comment about this, but I hope you see. Also, I did lots of this dirt on her boots and pants. And should actually did some dirt on her this thing. Still don't remember the name. But yeah. About the pocket I said earlier, the brain eater's name I said before, have an older brother I said it, and she's grandma of one and mother of one. I didn't come up with gender, so she does have a daughter who not so much into wheat pulling, but she does help her mother. And one grandson who's not just grandson, like I would say 5 years old, so he's like this. Not a brat, not a grandson of 5 years old. She works as a week, it's like it's her official work and people pay her to do this stuff, but sometimes she does do things for free. But most of the time it's like really messed up, like if you have something like, I don't know, consider there's like some approaches you pay to come to you, and then there's some approaches who just have to come there because it's super messed up. Like, how the hell is still alive? Just something like this can be. Yeah, she used to be blonde, but already oldish. I would say she in... Okay, what's the age when you start looking super oldish? 66? It's my guess. Don't get it, 66. Is there a chance that 66 watching me? Like, my channel is small. Is there a chance there's a 66 among us? Is it, if you're 66, come on to my channel right now. If you watch this, to this moment. I doubt you watched this till this moment because I doubt I said anything interesting and show something interesting for you to watch until this moment. But if you did watch this moment, man, you a fan. Or maybe just have nothing to do. Okay, so for next character, I guess we go. Poop. Okay, so the next creature is Brain Eater, and its scientific name is Pantoúkalliergó, which is Greek for grow everywhere. So I think whenever it comes to this plant, his main gimmick, well, its main gimmick that it can grow anywhere, in the pavements, in the wood, and he able to gain nutrition for any materials, energy and that stuff. From the sun, from the earth, from the ground, from even magic. So they are like every eaters. But by humans they start to be known as brain eaters because of their unique ability on humans. They have unique abilities to slow the age process of the human, and that's where the potion comes from. People grind them to get immortality. Of course, it doesn't have any good side effects. It has very bad side effects. The often usage have the ability to drive human insane. That's what happened with Adomas, the blade collector. What happened to him? Well, he was already obsessed with blades, but taking that potion freaking make him lunatically obsessed, like even more than he was before. With some humans they can go nights, wild nights. Now if you wonder how the hell the plants get inside of human, they are produced by spores, and that spores sometimes get inside of human and they start growing and collecting the nerve system and the brain. Now imagine when you take a potion made with this, you become slowly aging. When it starts growing inside of you, you like stop aging at all. Well, actually, even if you take the potion, you stop aging at all. But whenever you like have the full-time plants, you like basically become immortal. Like cut your heads, you still be alive. But the miners become even worse because they don't just go insane; they go primitive, wild. And to be fair, it's not even the plant fault. Like it's basically simple plant. It doesn't have a consciousness. It have no mind. Just simple survival needs. Well, not even needs. Like it's a plant. It's basically just genetic code there. And they just grow on humans because it was put it there accidentally by the wind, or because by other humans. Sometimes humans use them as a stuff to scare you off. And human becomes super primal, trying to find any weapon, trying to consume other humans, and it becomes something simple as zombies. Now for the hands effect, I just need to do the same effect that I do when hands get cut here, and little bit crawling here with fingers crossing like this. I was scared that it was pretty hard to tell that it was what's going on there. But it was what going there. Okay, for the head, the position of hand I didn't like much, so I decided to change the position. The sword, which will be slowly dragging and creating those little sparkle effect. Which I would do, but I wouldn't say perfect. Also for hands, I decided to do this little holding of this effect. With this finger going on the object, while this just cranks the object here. Okay, actually, didn't I do this before? I think I did, but I think I did not. Also, I will do it one more time with other character who will be also in this bunch, and it will be for now the last character in this bunch. Now for other stuff, okay, for what other stuff, I even don't remember. For clothes, I decided to give him like really simple clothes with blood on it, and that's other stuff. I don't think I might give him pants, so there will be legs and like full-time zombie walking. Now the roots, they go inside of brain, but they also go inside of eyes, so that's why one of his eyes already popped and there's like nothing in it. But the other eye will be full of roots, and the muscle which connect the eye to nervous system will be also rootish. And basically roots go around of his veins, the nervous system, and starts even pierce from the skin to go like a vines wrapping around the body. Now again, the plant is not like its fault, like the plant just doing that. It's not controlling the human. The human still over controls his own body. To be fair, the plant's even replacing the nervous system, the muscle system and nervous system. Like not replacing to control it, they're just replacing it for human for damaging it to give him a new one. Sometimes even stronger than they have before. So they like become stronger than average human. But again, they're hard to kill. But again, the fighting strategy of the human become wild. And mostly the only reason why it's dangerous is because it's unpredictable. And most they're not even good in stealth because they like will totally give their position away. Now for roots, they will go from his eyes, from his mouth, like the mouth will be full of these roots. They will slowly pierce from his cheeks, from his neck, and also some will go inside of his veins. So I also decided to color separate some of vines. Like there will be vines of two colors, because as I did before, they will be the roots will be a bit more darker, and then go up they will get a little bit darker or brighter and go up a little bit get darker. Decide to do something similar, but I forgot about this feature I give them, so we'll do it later. Not sure I'm doing it, but it's still good. There also will be lines and veins and that stuff, and I think I will say. Now for this one it's supposed to be blood, and I decided to come up with blood which will already be super dried up. And that will be only his blood for now. Now for eyes is super pale and reddish, and I think I like musky, he look like a walking corpse, so I did something nice here. Also, if you didn't know what he is a beathead psychic killer. I think that's what I said before. Okay, I will see. To be sure. Okay, at this point I think I ran out any text I want to say. Basically, nothing much. The name, actually originally I was thinking about giving like typical scientific name. I guess for scientific names usually just go by Latin language. I accidentally confused with Greek language. And yeah, so it's Greek language, grow everywhere. Now idea. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think I said everything I want. I would think in this world the brain eater is like such a valuable plant, but it's also like super dangerous. And the paper and the Clementine Potts will just destroy it. Like she doesn't expect people who use that kind of plants to keep them live for long. Because again, driving crazy is pretty not a nice deal to that. It will feel like so many ways to live longer. Healthy life, and some of the other methods which help people to live longer, but I guess some of those methods is not even better than this one. This one is a bit more easy to get, and the sacrifice sometimes it's better than some other places, because there will be a character who's freaking nuts, and he's like also immortal, but again it's a character for the future. I'm not sure if I will make him, maybe I will change my mind. So keep watching, I will keep the series going for now, so keep watching, and maybe you see something interesting. Okay, so ended up with my plan here. All that stuff. Okay, actually man, been thinking about creating a series of voice of this stuff. But I'm so good with creating a series. Seriously, I have a comic called Crockett. Already bloody give up on it. Well, not like super give up, I have some ideas on making stuff for him. But again, I see it as more as one of my art projects, which is I don't want to do constantly, I will do it whenever I have mood to do it. It's like Pokemon, like I did do Arceus, I start Pokemon, different types of Pokemon with Arceus, long break, and I did humans, a couple of videos did another type of humans. So like, it's not something I want to work constantly. It's like, whenever I want to do some interesting challenge, or not the challenge, yeah, this comic is basically just me trying creating a comic. Just I'm not doing any good. Actually, I think about continuing the Crockett with the new comics. Actually, maybe it will be in the next of my project. We'll see. We'll try to continue it, but also we'll try to do it in a new way. No like typical comic. I've been reading one comics and I like the way they do it, so I have decided to try something like this. Now for drawing, for infant text, I draw the spores, that's for spores look. This is the brain eater growing inside of this concrete. Then that stuff. Well, the name of this plant, scientific name, I don't think there's any right pronunciation because I literally just come up with it and there's no right idea. Now here's the brain, the fact that it's connected to the brain, and actually the chemical inside of plants connected to the brain, forcing it to go wild. And mostly chemicals go inside of nervous system, that stuff, which give immortality to the victim. Now here I'm drawing the medical sign of this with this stick and snakes, to show that it's been used for creating potion to slow down age. Because it's something nice I want to do here, but again doing accidentally in the same layer forcing me to remove some stuff. But I think I will remove this layer anyway to draw a stuff and then draw the snake, because drawing snakes and then the stuff was not a great idea. And well, to be fair, I think it's not symmetrical at all, but I can live with that. Oh yeah, actually there was one interesting fact that I did some veins, mostly roots go in the veins in the belly part, like there's a tons of roots inside of veins, and some of course coursing out. But that's one of those things which is, I saw one horror movie where there was a zombie and his freaking belly was freaking covered with veins. And that was something I want to do. And most of that come to this drawing, I bloody like it, but I would say it's like super creepy. But to be fair, you know what, I will be honest with you, I do like making really creepy stuff, like there was some drawings I want to make really creepy and terrifying, and some characters even freaking masochistic or narcissistic. No, narcissistic is a bad word. It's not right. Sadistic. There's like literally a character who I want to make something close to this. Not sure will I change it or not. But again, I pretty like my bloody horror, to be fair. And I freaking like... I don't know, who's created the magazine? What's if I get his name? He created this maniac Johnny. I want maybe not Johnny. Okay. Now fandoms people will hate me, but... What the hell? No, I actually have decided to make like super terrifying comics with blood and that stuff. But I have no idea where to put it, to be fair. Should I put it on... Yeah, I have no idea, because I can definitely put it on Webtoons, because Webtoons doesn't approve that stuff. Video? I have to check actually, maybe there's a comic shop where I can put it there, and maybe I can make some terrifying stuff. Okay, what's the chance I will actually make these comics? Super small. I'm not much of the comics guy. It's like a one-time burn I have, which is not super strong, so it's mostly like childish, won't try everything, and sometimes give up on that everything. It's like freaking having a cat, and you want a cat, but you will not feed it or clean up it. Well, that was my case when I was a child. Now I need a bit more respectful of my cats. Okay, I think that's everything I want to say. For the next burn we go, and it's our last one in this batch, let's go! Okay, well, the previous drawing was my favorite, and in this batch it will be my amazing drawing. So fair, I will not say that about like super bad drawing in this batch. But the frog, the giant, wizard, toad. Not much to work here, so I decided to just create a swampy wizard. And meet the Gog, Mr. Gog. The only reason why he called him Mr. because sometimes people confuse him with a female, so he started using Mr. Gog as an introduction to himself. Like, I'm Mr. Gog, always call me Mr. Gog. Like, he uses it as a full name. Like, he's not even the real Mr. It's not like one of his titles. Oh, actually, it can be used as a title of his, but the only reason he used it because people confuse him with a female and he gets really annoyed. Now the reason why I decided to do this because he does look like a female. In my mind I was time thinking about making him a female. Now for ideas, I would not mind to them. I originally was thinking about creating Heinz Ogon outfit but with a frog. Like instead of this red gem there will be belly, there will be some runes there. Not the cape, well, not the hood, just the clothes on the bottom. But I decided to go with something simple with muddish, seaweed on the head, or actually it's swampweed or even lakeweed, but I think it's usually still called seaweed. And these magical pants, which is something like a wizard pant who got cut only up to his waist. Now for eyebrows, I didn't exactly think of the best way how they will look on his head. So that was a lot of thinking and guessing and randomizing. And for body, instead one leg will be on top, while other legs will be laying. So there will be this leg, against because his clothes is something like a dress, so there's not like visible legs, so his leg is separated by these lines. These legs are front, and this little line to show that his leg is bending to the way of this other leg, which is hard to explain. Again doing the same thing I did with Clementine, where the arm will go behind the leg, and the wrist will appear to grab his knee. Yeah, the knee. Now, for color, start to give him white belly, lots of these ruinic drawings, or not much ruinic, I think it was simple drawings. Decided to give him some mud drawings, I guess mostly I decided to give him mud drawings on the chin or belly. Also decided to do something on the face, but in the face it didn't look like it was a seaweed and some sea plant, so I decided to go with this. Now he looks super old, and I would say he's super old. But again, he will be more healthy because he uses magic to not keep himself from aging, but to keep him in the better state. And like any anthropomorphic frog, he does live a little bit longer than any other anthropomorphic frog. Now, by his personality, I would say he's like super annoyed and mostly like that. So, because he's super annoyed by humans, and because mostly humans like confuse his gender a lot. Now, his orientation. Actually, man, this batch I didn't do any orientation characters. I mean, I did Clementine brother orientation instead to make him asexual. But the only reason why I did it because I didn't do any orientation for my characters in this batch. Because usually I see whenever I create a character, I decide to give them some form of orientation. Well, not always, but sometimes. And most whenever I don't do this, it doesn't mean the character is typical heterosexual. And with most characters, they're all basically lots of heterosexual. Oh, okay, well, with Fluff, I would say he is not interested in that stuff, so he actually asexual, so maybe that's a fact I could add there. With Mimic and Brain Eaters, they're both animalistic, so they don't actually... Well, mimic maybe can be pansexual because it's mimic nature. The brain eaters, they are sexual because the plant children produced by these little spores. And the humans who possess by them doesn't care about that stuff a lot. And Clementine will be, I guess he will be heterosexual. Other characters I made, Adam, yeah, heterosexual as well. Now this one will also be heterosexual, but he will be a romantic heterosexual. So he's not into a relationship, but he's already into sex. So like, but still, he doesn't like a romantic interaction. Okay, for his orientation I actually was thinking about what the actual real Brock would have. Because it's one of those things I like to do with characters whose animals, give him some animalistic fact which is there. With frogs I would Google in, do they have preparedness, do they have orientation. I think there is some type of frog who perform act with other member of this gender. But he said he will not be this type of frog. To be fair, I don't even know what type of frog he will be. Well, anthropomorphic frog, so that's stuff. But I would say he doesn't do love, he does mating season. So yeah, he will be like this type of guys. They decided to give him the seaweed on the head, seaweed cape, and for drawings, mostly I think they will be much random, super random. White palm, the fingers, and for stuff I decided to give him like a the root of the tree with this green jewel. Now his magic practice is druidism. Well, he's druid. Like it's his main practice. But I think in my universe you can have more than one art of magic. Like you can have the main practice, which is you're very good at, and which one you've been practicing from the beginning and that stuff. But you can also have some practice in other forms. Like he's druid, but he also been practicing some necromancy, holy magic, elemental, and I did anything else. Now he's basically again do work as helping people around. Now here I'm doing the dirt on the chin and little dirt on the belly button. Originally I was thinking about doing the same drawing, but I decided to do the mud instead. Because I don't know, I don't see why the hell it would be something super dark green on the belly, so I decided to just eat some mud. Give him a little bit visible breast, some fat touching together, the flanks of his orientation, the frog for mating season because of the joke I did made before, so he will have something like a mating season, but he will never have a romantic, like a wife or that romantic partner. Usual people consume his gender a lot, and the fact that I did also what I did. I don't even remember what I did. Well, I did the human from this perspective, which I really like. Again, not much to say. Is there anything else I want to say? Well, I did give him lots of those warps or impulse or whatever the frogs have there. And then. Also, I was thinking about giving him the belly button, but frogs don't have belly button, so I decided to say no to this idea. Now, for his race, he is an anthropomorphic frog. I would say in the world of this there are such things as anthropomorphic animals. Sometimes they're created by magic, science, and that stuff, and sometimes they're just born because of the ancestry. He was born because of his ancestry, and was studying magic for quite a while. I would say he's not bad druid. Well, let's say he's the strongest, but he's not bad. In other forms of magic, well, okay, with necromancy I would say he's pretty weak. Elemental, what is super good with him? Also fire and maybe dirt. The beekeeping also super good. Holy magic is weak at it. For that stuff. Okay, I think that's it. So that was my 6th character for May Dwellers. I will continue doing this challenge, even it's May, but it's June. What May? It's June. Well, this challenge was designed for May, but I hate deadlines, so I did this anyway. So, hope you enjoy, hope you like it, say which character you like the best, and do you like the story I come out a little bit. Of course, it's not professionally told, but it's still a nice story. Okay, so what else can I say? Go to my social media, go to my other 2 channels, go to my Patreon, you can watch my drawings earlier, check the premiere, also there will be some other videos, the reaction, without reaction video, only my face, and then a timer, gameplays, or access to gameplays, and for that other stuff, I think everything I want to say. So have a nice day. Cue the music. It's a new thing I'm doing. Cue the music.